Hello and welcome to the Raymond Can Do It channel. Today I'm going to be changing the engine oil on my 2012 Hyundai Santa Fe. First thing before we start, I am not a mechanic, so if you're doing this at your own risk. What I do is I use 5.5 quarts of 5W20 synthetic motor oil. If you're using synthetic oil, you should continue to use it. If you're using conventional oil, you should continue to use that. You should not switch back and forth. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the emergency brake is on. Alright, now that the emergency brake is on, the second thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the old engine oil. So to do that, we use a 17mm wrench and a oil pan to catch the oil. So I have my 17mm wrench and I have my oil drip collection pan. Feel free to look at the description below for any of these links. My channel gets a couple of pennies and it's no additional cost to you. I also have safety glasses. I also have vinyl gloves, and then I also have cardboard just so if there's any drip, it doesn't land on your driveway, it's just on the cardboard. So for me, I don't have to jack my car up or ramp my car. I can slide right underneath this vehicle, so that's the nice thing about doing this. And I'll show you where the engine oil pan is. As we move under the front right side of the vehicle, you'll see the engine oil pan. This 17mm bolt, I don't know if you can see it right here, is the part that I'll be taking out. It's a little difficult to do. So I have my oil drip pan ready to go. I'm going to turn it counterclockwise. This is going to be the hardest part of the whole process because sometimes it's too hard to turn or unscrew. If it is, do not try to strip the bolt. Just go to a mechanic and get your oil replaced. So here's another view from the front. This is the engine oil pan. This is the 17mm bolt right here. So once you do that, you're going to unscrew this pan and the engine oil will come out. So now that the oil is draining out, this is what the plug looks like. There's usually a metal washer here, so they call it like a crush washer. When you get your engine oil filter, which is this right here, on the inside there's going to be a replacement one, so which they have in here, and then this is what I'm going to use and put it back. Okay. So while that is draining, I am going to take one of the gloves off, put it in the trash. I'm going to pop the hood open and replace the filter. The hood lever is right next to the left foot of the driver's side. Now for the engine oil filter. The engine oil filter is located to the right of the engine block. It's this plastic cap, hexagon cap. You're going to need a 27mm socket to loosen that up. So I have a 27mm socket, and I'm just going to turn it counterclockwise to remove it. So once you get that removed. You'll see a little rubber ring. This rubber ring is the same rubber ring that comes with the engine filter replacement, so we'll replace that as well. So I have my replacement oil filter. I'm going to keep it pretty close and set that aside. I'm going to replace this filter here. You can see there's a little I guess spout for the filter. There's a hole down in the filter. You just push it right on in. So let me put that back. Trash can. And I'm just going to guide it down. And then I'm going to push down. Make sure that that little spout lines up with the hole inside. So there is a specific way to put this in, and then push down so it's nice and snug. Okay. The next step, I'm going to go back down here. So what I usually do is I usually get an old screwdriver to help pry this out. You want to be very careful not to scratch or mar the plastic, because then your oil will start leaking. Okay, so you want to remember where this rubber ring is going. There's only really one spot that it goes in. Okay, so here's the ring. So you can use, I use a screwdriver, but you can kind of use anything to kind of pry the rubber piece out. So when you put the rubber ring back on, make sure you lubricate it with, the old engine oil. And then you apply the ring back on. And make sure that the ring is on correctly all the way around. Okay. So when we put this on, we're gonna press down, and make sure that you're screwing it in, threading it correctly, and hand tighten it as much as you can. So the reason why I like to hand tighten it first, to make sure that it's seated, threaded correctly, and I'm not doing it crooked. Okay. So now I'm going as far as I could go. I'm going to use my ratchet and tighten it up as much as I can. Okay. All right, so now we're done with the engine filter part. The last piece, before we put the oil back in, is we get the new crush ring. It's always a good idea to have a trash bag nearby for all the trash. And then we're just going to put a little bit of oil. You can use the old engine oil, and then we're going to put the crush ring back. We're going to go back under the hood and put the plug back in. The old oil itself, you can go to any auto parts store and they will recycle the engine oil for you. So make sure don't throw it in the trash. So again, you want to thread it with your hands first to make sure it's even. Then you're not threading it in incorrectly or crooked. And then you want to use a 17mm wrench. and hand tighten it the best you can. What you also want to do is get a tissue or paper towel. Get a paper towel. Clean up the drip. Anything dripping out. So then when you pour the new oil in, you'll notice if you didn't plug it in tight enough, you'll see new oil coming onto your cardboard and not your driveway. So I'll put a piece of cardboard there, make sure nothing's dripping out. Now I have two funnels. One will be for the new oil, the other one will be for the dirty oil. I have an empty 5-quart container. So this is the container. I'll bring it to the auto parts store and then they'll recycle the oil for me. So you want to be very careful with this oil, obviously. You should have a lot of cardboard boxes on standby if this is your first time. I usually do a little bit better than this, but you know, under pressure with the cameras, I guess. Okay, once you dispose of your dirty oil back into the container, make sure to cap that container because you don't want to accidentally spill it and it goes all over your driveway. Now we're ready for the clean oil. So we can come back over here. We see this is where you put the oil in. It says SAE 5W20. So I'm going to use 5W20. Unscrew it with your hands. Put a clean funnel. And then we're going to pour 5.5 quarts. I know it says 0W20, but disregard that, the bottle. I'm just using an empty bottle. So this is 5W20. And you can see how the old engine oil is kind of like a very brown tar looking oil. This right here is like a very smooth, like maple syrup looking. So these containers have 5 quarts, and then I'll get another half a quart from another bottle. It's taking a long time.
Can I stop?
Sure. So this is the oil that I use, full synthetic, high mileage, because I have 160,000 miles, 5W20. So make sure that this number is correct with the engine oil that you use for what the vehicle specifies. So I put the 5 quarts in. Now I'm going to put the half quart in. So while we're letting that drain out, a few things. 5.5 quarts of synthetic oil costs around maybe $40 or so. The filter is about an extra $10 to $12, so it's around $52. Yes, you can go to a oil change shop and get that done, but I kind of like just doing my own oil. I don't know, it's just kind of fun. Then the last step is we just check the engine oil. So we'll put the cap back on. So sometimes I unscrew it to make sure it's threaded correctly, and then I'll screw it in. Okay. And now there's this little dipstick here. So this dipstick tells you the level of your oil. So you don't check the first time. You always just wipe it clean. So once you wipe it clean, then you take your measurement. You stick it back inside. You wait a second, and you take it back out. And then it's a little hard. It's probably gonna be a little hard to see on camera, but it's probably right about here. So it's a little bit above full, but I think it'll be okay. You just want to make sure that you're in between the F, which is full, L for low. But I think I'm pretty good. So again, look at the piece of cardboard down there to see if there's any leaks. But other than that, this job is done. Hope you thought this video was helpful. If you did, please click the like button. Feel free to subscribe to my channel for any DIYs, how-tos, product reviews. My name is Raymond. If I can do it, you can too.